everybody. Thanks for coming, and thanks for returning for another week. Looking forward to this activity. We're going to be discussing Chapter 6, Recovering a Sense of Abundance, and doing our Canvas artwork today. This week is a pretty deep week. It really goes into a lot of things, but particularly attempts to truly tackle a major creative block. That is money, and how we look at the ideas and beliefs around God, money, and creative abundance. We tend to have these particular beliefs begin very early in our life. And some of them are centered around these: that money is bad, that God only loves the poor and the suffering, and that money is the real source of security in our lives, not God. God is nice, but not so much providing us with the money. Money is hard to get. Another belief is that we have to work hard, long hours for the money. That you need to worry about money first, and then everything else has to go. All the fun stuff is later. Also, that creative and artistic ventures are a luxury most people don't have the ability to do or spend time on, that they're frivolous use of our time. And then also that no one's going to pay me to be creative, let alone be an artist. And so, or they always talk about the starving artist and that type of thing. So these beliefs are really long held, very much been passed on from generation to generation, hard beliefs about not only money, about God and the limitations of God, as well as creative abundance. Last week's discussion was about the limitations we place on our God as well, not believing in God's limitless power. That God's cannot possibly be able to provide all of these things for us. And so we have this belief and we place these limitations on God and how much God is able to provide in our lives. And so we need to be able to kind of see and look past that, work through some of those beliefs that we've had, because it's really a limitation that we're placing on there. Oh, hello, we just got started. We're starting on Chapter 6. It looks like we have a new person joining in. Welcome. Last week, Julia Cameron, the author, continues to explain that we become blocked or blame it on our lack of money. And this is never an authentic block. The actual block is in our feelings or construction of our sense of powerlessness. So art requires us to empower ourselves with choice at the most basic level. This means choosing to do self-care, giving us an opportunity to take care of ourselves and create it and be able to foster joy and silliness and laughter and those types of things into our life. But then we associate it with the constriction, and then we associate it with money, and then we associate it with our beliefs about God. And so that causes those things to occur. So that's
There's another person?
I thought so, but I don't see them.
Can you let them in?
I thought so.
I don't see anybody.
Well, hopefully maybe they hung up. So hopefully they'll call back. So there's even famous artists that fall into this trap of denying themselves the creative pleasures. So you'll see artists or particular people working amazing things, doing fantastic stuff, but they also will deny themselves certain pleasures, time to play, time to relax, enjoy our everyday lives, because they feel like they need to be doing something, right? They need to be working on the art, or working on doing more, or and not allowing themselves to be able to relax and be creative. And what brings us joy are all different things in our lives. Those things can be anything from like horseback riding to nature walks, baking, cooking, sewing, even music, either playing a new instrument or listening to music or dancing. So there's different things that bring people joy. Sometimes it's eating really amazing food and going to restaurants and being a foodie. So it's a whole bunch of different things that will bring us joy. It's just being able to allow ourselves that time, not only to be creative, but to get in touch with those things that give us joy. Another part that prevents us or blocks us in this element of what we're discussing this week is prideful perfection. It is the other block that blocks us in our joy, because it doesn't allow us to have fun in that requirement for perfection. It places judgment on what we're doing or not doing, on ourselves and other people, that that couldn't possibly be worthy of paying anybody for that, or my time, because of the work that I'm producing isn't a Monet. Right. So if I can't produce like a Monet, then it's pointless. It's useless. If I can't write the next best symphony, then what's the point? Or, those types of things where we're driving ourselves to that idea of perfection. And it gives a lot of judgment on who we are and what we're doing, as well as on other people and what they're doing in our lives. And so we have to really constantly be working and remind ourselves that serious art or creativity, whatever you look at it, is born from serious play. And so in order for us to be able to really allow ourselves that play and to be able to experience joy in our life, we have to allow ourselves that time to be silly, to have fun, to express ourselves in different ways. And that's where the creativity comes, is the expression of ourselves and our inner feelings. In chapter 6 on page 112 and 113, she had a counting exercise, and it's supposed to just be able, again, kind of do it quickly. It's a 20 question, and it is the idea surrounding about money madness. So I'm just going to do a round robin, top 20. And it says, so you guys go ahead and answer. First question is, people with money are? Joe? Successful? What else?
Lucky.
Okay, good. Well, who else?
Happy.
Happy. Okay. People with money are, for me, are driven. How's that? Money makes people
well off.
do that again?
Well off.
Well off. Good. Anyone else?
Happy.
Happy. Money makes people crazy. How's that? Greedy. I'd have more money if
I had a job.
I had a job.
I had a job. I had more money if I had a job. If I didn't have responsibilities or bills or those types of things, that's for sure. My dad thought money was the root of all evil.
Who did what?
My dad thought money was
a nice thing to have.
Okay.
Yeah, that's probably what I'd say. It's good to have.
Torture. My mom always thought money would
help keep a roof over our heads.
There you go. Help keep security, right? Money was security. In my family, money caused grief, stress,
vacation. Yeah, stress, yeah.
Vacation. There you go. What else? Anything else? Stress. Maybe even like fights with the family members and money. Money equals
happiness.
Happiness. Money equals
means to an end.
Means to an end. All right, got another. I'm going to admit. Hopefully that I get another one to come in. Welcome. I really thank you for coming. And the next one is, if I had money, I'd
go back to Hawaii.
Go back to Hawaii. What else?
Hoard it.
What was that?
If I had money, I'd hoard it.
Hoard it. I'd have a new car, right?
I would start an MLM.
MLM. I would.
I would
Don't do
start
that.
the ultimate corruption. I would become a mogul.
I would do a whole bunch of things. That's for sure. If I could. Oh wait, here we go. If I had some money, I'd
Be happy.
be happy. Mm-hmm.
Spend it on my
No
family.
accident. Oh. Buy some jewelry.
Buy stocks.
There you go. I'm afraid that if I had money,
Buy land.
I'd
Property. Reinvest.
Become an oil baron.
if I had some money, I'd
Make it work for me.
make it work for me. There you go. Buy more.
I
more
splurge
materials.
everything.
Get that top of the line. Have some steak. I'm afraid that if I had money, I would
Become evil. And
greedy. Right?
I'd be the new Mr. Monopoly. Call me Mrs. Monopoly.
Become a monster. Hoarding my wealth. Become lizard. Become dragon. I'm actually just a dragon that hoards gold in the mountains.
more. Big,
I always
big,
related to those
more.
characters. I'd be like, yeah, samesies. I do that.
It's all mine.
Mine. Money is
Important.
Currency to buy things.
It keeps the economy running.
the root of all evil.
The economy is the root of all evil. Is that what we're saying?
Money causes pain,
Conflict.
stress. Anything else?
Bills? I don't know.
Maybe opportunity.
IRS.
Having money is not
A bad
Happiness.
thing.
it's not a bad thing. There you go. In order to
Every-
have, I'm sorry.
Oh, it's not everything.
No, it's not everything. That's a good one. In order to have money, I need to
Work hard. Have a job.
Yeah, I
Work
still need a
hard.
job.
Yes. Just
So
the key factor.
Need the
Just
job.
see, the answer hasn't changed because I need a job.
When I have money, I usually
Don't spend it.
Yeah.
don't
there's not a
spend
lot I
it
wanna
unless
buy right
I'm
now.
somewhere that I'll spend it irresponsibly at. So don't take me to Barnes and Nobles.
there you go. A balance. I think it just depends. When I have money, it just depends on what's happening. You know, I try to look at what's available in front of me. I think money
It's pretty neat.
pretty neat. If I weren't so cheap, I'd
I'm so cheap.
Continue to be cheap, just maybe not as bad.
Continue to be financially responsible.
if I what would you do? You would splurge on what?
Things that matter. You
Squishmallows.
know, a bed, good shoes,
Oh.
food, good food.
I wish I had a good answer for that because my brain went things
I'd
that
get
are
like really good
irresponsible.
materials and art
TVs,
supplies.
cars.
My brain went books. I was like, no, don't spend more money on books. You
Books,
have
more
enough
books.
books.
More books. People think money grows on trees.
No.
People wish money grew on trees.
Technically, money is paper, and what did paper come from? Trees.
Money is trees. It doesn't grow on trees.
Being broke tells me
Being
That you're
broke,
financially irresponsible.
that college was a scam.
That you're in debt. We're
That
all
you're
in
in
debt.
debt.
We're all
You're
broke
all in debt.
secretly.
Yeah, that's true. Hannah, you have anything? That's the last question. So, do you have anything to say? Being broke tells me.
I need to not be broke.
All right. Well,
Being broke tells me you need to get good.
you
At
need
the
to.
economy.
Skill issue.
You get better.
There's a skill issue there, right? There's a skill issue.
Got to win at Monopoly first.
It's like clearly someone hasn't played enough Monopoly as a kid.
Well, that was the main gist of chapter 6. She also goes into a lot of good exercises in here. So if you are following along, there's this fun stuff to go about doing it, thinking about how do you take care of yourself and how do you like maybe look at things differently and really allow yourself to not only allow your view as far as preventing those limitations about God's power in your life and providing abundance for all of us, that it is limitless and that we are allowed to be able to not only to the time to be spend with God, doing these different creative activities and allowing ourselves to be able to express our feelings and emotions and feel the joy and fun and being silly. And then also being able to just reconnect on that level in our lives and be able to appreciate the beauty that is around us and every little thing that we have, and not make everything so serious and stressful and unfun because we're all negatively tied to the money. Money is going to be a factor in all of this, but we have to make peace with that. And so in some people, they may have thought money was bad and evil and all those other things. And so sometimes they sabotage themselves from actually not only using the money, but maybe enjoying it more, letting themselves go out, take classes, travel, those types of things. They sometimes make a negative association. They're always stressed about it. They live in scarcity, so they don't think there's ever going to be enough. So they're always constantly stressed over it. So money can cause a lot of difficulty in people's lives. And then depending on how you're viewing God in this process, it can also make a negative tie to our time that we're spending trying to just reconnect and unblock our creative selves, but also allow ourselves to be able to enjoy the joy in our life, the beauty that we have there. So she has some different exercises that are fun, but it really kind of is designed to get at some of those hard, long-held beliefs about God, money, and creative abundance. So our activity this week is about creative abundance. And we're working on tote bags, canvas bags. And I know that some people were able to get the bags from my shop. I had different ones that had outlines on it. Mine's a little turtle. Some were able to go to the store and pick up a different canvas bag, different types of material to be used. So the idea is that we're going to be able to decorate these bags in any way that we decide, just to have fun with it. One of the things that we can do here is not only to use fabric paint or different kinds of markers. If you want to wash it again, you want to use the fabric paint. So you want to allow yourself the ability to do that. But if you don't have fabric paint and you just have other types of paint, you can still paint on it. It may not last as long as the fabric paint would in that scenario. Other people may decide to do sewing. And so they have there's these different like iron-on different transfers here that you can iron onto the canvas. And that gives you different things that you can do as well. You can do different embellishments, buttons and ribbon and things like that. You can do patches, fabric. You can embroider on with embroidery thread. So you have a whole bunch of stuff that you can do that whatever your desire or drawn to, I would say go ahead and have fun with it. You have on both sides, of course, you can do whatever you want and keep adding to it. The idea is to be able to enjoy working on the tote bag and be able to be thinking about our unlimited abundance in our lives. I was imagining when I was getting ready for this was that little comedic stick where the comedian has the bag and he starts to pull out like one thing and then he pulls out another thing and he just seems to be bringing out like, and all of a sudden he brings out this big, room, and then there's like this another thing that keeps coming out. So just like it's like this limitless source of stuff. And that's really what we have to think about when we're thinking about God and what he's able to provide in our lives. But the bag kind of represented that for me when I was thinking about the idea of abundance, and that the bag can help us to kind of see that and things that we carry in our lives. And so that's the idea behind using that one. Let me see. But the biggest point here is to make sure that there's no judgments, that you're having fun, and that, and one more thing. I put it on here as well, but when you're painting and working on the bag, with whatever paint you have, you want to make sure you're preventing any transfer or seepage from one end to the other. So you want to have a something. That's where I got a cardboard box to prevent any type of paint from going through the other side. So just letting you know that that is an important thing to try to work on. I have a whole bunch of different fabric paints. You can go anywhere for that. They have fabric markers. They have fabric paints. They got different kinds of pens. So the most important thing is just to enjoy yourself and have fun working on your different totes. So it looks like a lot of people have already gotten started, which is great. You want to show what we've got so far? Anyone want to show what they got so far?
Sure.
I
Sure.
Oh, you really made some big progress over there, both you guys. Really fast.
Like I had like a extra time or something. I don't know. It's kind of weird.
I like it. I like different colors in there too. The nice tones. That's nice.
I was inspired by a pool toy I had.
Ooh, I like it. And maybe next week also is going to be starting a little thing called Shark Week. We used to
My
have
favorite time of year.
That used to be exactly our favorite time of year. You should totally do that. I forgot what year you started that, but that was pretty early.
I was obsessed with sharks and like from like third, second to like 7th grade.
Yeah,
I
sharks.
love sharks.
Dinosaurs too.
Dinosaurs for a
How are
bit.
you
Sharks took
present-day?
over though. It was I went hard into dinosaurs for like a year. And then it was just like I still liked them.
What am I hearing?
You're hearing the news.
Oh, all right. Well, I still don't see the other person that had come, so I'm not sure what happened. I think they may have hung up right away. But hopefully they'll come back. Anyway, so I hope that as we're going along, that everybody's going to be able to enjoy experimenting with our tote bags and thinking about how we see abundance in our lives. Of what? So might be green. So I decided to do the sea turtle because I had so much fun on our vacation. We hadn't been on a family vacation for years because we've been doing all kinds of sports and travel, camps, and everything kind of took over. So we finally went on a family vacation and got to go to Hawaii, and that was amazing. But I got to snorkel with Hannah one day. It was a beautiful day. And I had snorkeled once before. And so, but years ago, 25 years ago. So I had, vague memory of how to do it. So I was trying to help her. The lady was very helpful with us, giving us all the stuff we needed. Extra this, extra that. And that was fun. And so we ended up getting out there, but it was a gorgeous day, clear, hardly any major waves at all. And I no sooner put my goggles on and got in the water, but I immediately saw a turtle, a sea turtle, and he came straight to me. It was amazing. It was like out of the movies.
If you don't mind.
Hmm?
If you don't mind.
If I don't mind.
I love the bit that she did last. And she did start right. It was can you
And no, I'm having a hard time. It keeps breaking up.
You're muted. It's all
No,
over.
I wanted to explain to everyone that you were lassoing the turtle. And you
Oh,
were right.
poor turtle.
Waves.
Well, not only did the turtle come straight to me, and he was trying, like he was going away from the crowd. The crowd was following him, and so all these other people that were snorkeling were like chasing him down, and he like came to me, like he was looking for help. Anyway, so I was floored because I'm like, here's this turtle coming right to me, and then he came right to me, but then everybody converged around me, and I'm trying really hard not to touch the turtle because I know it's supposed to be bad, and so I was it was funny. The poor guy. I don't think I really helped him too much because I didn't know what I was doing. I literally just put my goggles on and stuck my head in the water. So but ever since then, then we got a chance to. He and another turtle were in the area and didn't leave for for a while. It was really nice to watch them, and I definitely enjoyed that whole afternoon with Hannah and the turtles. I was surprised because I really didn't think about, we're going to see a sea turtle out there. We're not going to see anything, and sure enough, we sure did.
Yeah, like there's a lot of turtles over there. I'm sure you'll see one. We were like, right. No, that was cool.
That was really cool. That was fun. And Hannah got a chance to do snorkeling for the first time. And I think that was just nice. And she got a chance to really enjoy that too. I think she's going to end up doing like a scuba diving one day. Save the seals and save the ocean.
Have now arrived in Ukraine. This is a general health event. Radically changed reality. I asked the President about the decision to
So on this the chapter, we're discussing the ideas of like abundance and the ideas of God and how we view God. And I think and money is always a factor in a lot of the things that we do and the things that we choose, and how that works in their lives. Now, a lot of these things that we're working on throughout this book and throughout our time together is kind of, it's a little bit because of these long held beliefs that are like in these blocks. These are blocks that are really, like she said, it's really not about the money. It's more about what it represents in our lives, and also the limitations that we placed on our God as far as like what he provides for us, or she provides, or however you want to look at it. And I think that's where a lot of people start to like feel that being creative or expressing ourselves in a creative way is somehow lacking or frivolous, or maybe like, oh, now it's time to get a real job, that kind of stuff, where you're not, not supposed to get paid for that, and not supposed to be able to do these things because of the beliefs we have associated with all of those things. Again, money, God, our resources, what we're supposed to be doing, and that somehow God doesn't want us to express ourselves and enjoy life. And somehow it's got to be this painful, suffering all the time. And that's really not, if you really listen to the Bible and the different things that we're taught, God is supposed to be providing for us all the time. And that's when we put those limitations on, and how much we're supposed to receive and how much we allow ourselves to receive. And I think that's where a lot of us go wrong, but also a lot of us will then start to reject the time we spend, doing these creative activities. And I think that the biggest part is I'm not designing any of these activities to be anything more than being able to find the things that you are most attracted to. And sometimes you don't know what that is until you do them. So I've given a nice variety of different activities, both fabric, fiber, paper, collage, different things, different types of materials, so that you could get a chance to not only discover what it is that you might be more attracted to. Like maybe I really like fibers. Maybe I'd really like fabric or thread, or maybe I'm really into paper and I want to try some more paper art, like the origami or something close to that, or ribbons. There's clay. But sometimes you might discover that, maybe I really enjoy food and I love baking and cooking, and I like to experiment with the different things that are part of that, and that makes me feel joy and I'm happy, and I like to see what I can create. And it is a creation when you're creating food. It is, even though you're following a recipe, it is a process, and it is a very creative process. And sometimes you just like to be able to go and see what other people are doing. So it's fun to go to the restaurants and see the different things that the other people are able to create, and how beautiful that can be, and how delicious it can be. Yeah, sometimes going out to the garden and seeing the different flowers and plants, and then being able to pick them and bring them back to your table to eat a nice salad. But it's such a creative process to maybe eat a flower, add the edible flowers to your arrangement, something like that, to be able to allow yourself the time to do that, and to experiment and have fun with that, and be able to enjoy your life with those things. Because yes, there are responsibilities, and yes, money is a factor. And I'm not going to say in any way that it's just going to go away, or our responsibilities, or the need to, pay your bills. We're not in that kind of world that we don't. But we have to find a way to make peace with how we view that, especially if it's been viewed as negative, because we can have a tendency to not only reject money, but sabotage ourselves in the ability to keep it. So we might, do things that, bad decisions, or other types of stuff, or just look at it so negatively that you're not really bringing it or allowing it to come into your life. And so you got to think of it in different ways. And not think of it as just scarcity, or like, oh, it's all going to go away, and you have to constantly be concerned about keeping it and being so worried about it all the time, because that can also be a very negative thing. Just like the idea of being perfect all the time, you take away the joy and what it can do, and you forget that you can enjoy life and go take that vacation, or that class, or go ahead and give yourself those new boots or something. I don't know, whatever that is. It just allows you to be able to do it, and to make peace with that. So I have, we've gone through a couple of different variations right now with our this day. We started a little bit earlier because other people were out of town and thought that we'd be able to join us, but it looks like they're not going to be able to. And so I am really at a loss on the time. I kind of looking like we're going to continue to create, so I'm not stopping anybody, but I want to make sure that I talk about next week before I forget what time it is. Next week, we're going to be discussing chapter 7, which is discovering a sense of connection. And I have what I do on my business, my online business, is not only do I make like different types of designs and art and that type of stuff, and I try to provide a variety of different things for people and customize things, but I also try to think about the environment, and I think about recycling and upcycling, and try to think about different ways in which to do that. So I began this one project with wine bottles. And so some of the things I have make is that I paint and do some direction on my wine bottles, and I'll have the different ones up there. I will have a variety of different kinds. I do some for gifts, and I will decorate them up, do a variety of different stuff on them. And then I try to decorate them with lights inside. And so I try to have that available. And I was thinking it'd be fun for us to work on our own wine bottles. So next week, that's the project. We're going to create a sense of connection with our wine bottles. So I wanted to make sure that everybody has the assignment of emptying a wine bottle, but also of cleaning it and getting it ready so that next week we can paint on them and or do whatever we want with them. So with the wine bottle, usually will have the label and all that good stuff. So the best way that I've discovered to clean the wine bottle and get the labels off is to soak it in hot water, soapy hot water, but to also fill the wine bottle with that soapy hot water so that it is completely full and hot on the inside as well, so that the heat from both sides is going to be able to help that adhesion and that sticky part of the label to come off. I usually will still have to do some elbow grease, and I have like a little burnishing or a little tool that I can just kind of come off. But you let it soak for a while, give it a good, half hour, 40 minutes of letting it soak in the soapy water, and then just really work on trying to get the adhesion and everything off as best you can. I'm not always able to get all the adhesion off. It depends. Some of them, sometimes they'll have like some type of a sticker or something that's really hard to get off. I will tend to like paint over it or do something on top of it. So I do a lot of tissue or different types of things that I'll put on top of the bottle. And so that, but as long as it's mostly cleared off and the surface is mostly clean and dry, you should be able to work with it. Then, like I said, I will use tissue paper, just like we did with the journals, but I'll also do, and you can cut different pieces and have just fun, just like a collage in the art journal. And just make sure you have some decoupage glue and like a nice craft spongy brush to be able to put it on your bottle, and you should be able to have a lot of fun with that. I usually also have some thread or twine or something like that where I can finish it on the top and make it a little bit neater on both sides. So you can do that as well, or a ribbon or any type of embellishment that you want to be able to put on there. The other thing that you can also do, I think I had it in here, is glass paints. So they will sometimes have glass paint that's available. Shouldn't be too much glass paint marker, so you can use this to put it on the glass, and you can. But what I've discovered with some of these is that on the darker bottles, it doesn't really show up as well. And so if you have some of the clearer bottles, it may be a much better way to use those particular glass markers or etching or those types of things. So you're free to be able to do whatever you feel comfortable doing. And it's pretty much the biggest thing about this. I wanted to make sure that I went over that with you guys so that you're prepared and that you can have some fun getting that ready. Then I also wanted to invite everybody to make sure that next week you bring or have your own glass of whatever you want to be able to have with us, and we can all have a drink together and share a sense of connection with a little toast together as we create. So I wanted to make sure I had that given to you as far as an idea. Now, the other thing is you don't always, not everybody likes wine. Not everybody likes to drink. So totally understand and appreciate that. So for those that can't,
I'm underage. I'm underage.
And underage as well.
Yeah.
Yes. So for some, we can't have that and don't want to get anybody in trouble. So we can appreciate that. You can still work on the bottle, but we can't necessarily join in on the toast. But you can always use a different other glass bottle of any sort that you find in your home.
I'm sure your parents would love to empty out a wine bottle on your behalf.
Could really help you out. Might be able to help you out. There are friends might be able to help you out. Or you can just have fun if you don't have that limitation. You can try to get something going. But yeah, so that's what I wanted to make sure is that I also stress it doesn't have to be a wine bottle. It could be any kind of glass that you want to work with. So you can do that as well. And just, you can always make some lemonade. We can toast together that way as well. So enjoy the process, whichever way you want to do. But I wanted to make sure I added that as well. And didn't forget to stress that it is supposed to be a way for us to be able to have that sense of connection. So does anyone want to show us what they've got so far? Willing to share?
Yeah.
Oh, very nice. Now, you guys have been staying inside the lines and you've been staying inside the little pen. Now, are you thinking of expanding that a little bit? Are you going to put some water? Are you going to do something outside of it?
I was gonna do kind of like a paint splatter, but I don't want to crack into the paints right now. So that's it for today.
Okay.
But I did also Sharpie in teeth because there was no teeth before. Now he has teeth
Now he's got teeth.
because he's a shark and shark have teeth.
They have to have teeth. Unless something happened. It'd be a good the backstory to find out what happened to his teeth if he didn't have any, right?
I think it would be alive if it didn't have teeth.
Have teeth? Who knows? Fish are friends, not food. Maybe he learned how to become, you know, plant eater.
Sure.
It could happen. It could happen. Gotta have some fun with this. Hannah, did you want to share, or are you still working over there? Don't want to have it come out yet.
The same. Oh no.
What happened?
The little flap fell on it on the paint.
Did it mess up your painting, or just on the strap?
I had to use the stupid paint thing that makes it puffy.
Oh, so it takes a while to dry. I understand. Yeah.
Wasn't a green thing that like a green color because I just wanted to use marker. I did not want to use paint for this reason. So now it's a
Well, I understand. I'm sorry about that. I've got a interesting message. I'm not sure. So anyway, so I think that was beautiful. I love the pineapple. Is there a story behind the pineapple?
no.
Just fun. There's I forget how it's said, but there's supposed to be like this like try to model yourself after a pineapple. It stands tall and sweet on the inside, and that kind of thing. I always like that about the pineapple. And it has like a nice little, it has a crown on its head, and that kind of stuff. So anyway,
Yours looks good.
thank you. I am slowly working on it. It's kind of hard to figure out like what I want. So I'm trying to just stay here, and then I'm thinking I'm going to try to do something on the outside. I'm just not entirely sure what yet.
Yeah.
If I want to make it water, or if I'm just going to try to do some other things in it, maybe make another couple turtles, maybe some baby ones. That could be fun. So I'm going to play with some ideas. But for now, I'm kind of slow, trying to do all this little details. But it's kind of nice. I like this. It's really soothing to just sort of, fill in and color essentially. But it's a fun way to kind of do it. And it's going to be nice because I'm going to be able to now also, again, with the idea of the trying to promote sustainability, ecology, making sure that we're saving the planet and trying to do everything we can to recycle with the wine bottles or other things, plastics, that type of stuff. Well, the tote bags are one of the reasons why I decided to work on the tote bags. Is another way for us to try to maybe stay away from plastic all the time. So that's one of the reasons why I've been wanting to work with them and have more tote bags available. And a lot of states are trying to go towards no plastic bags and stuff like that. And it's such a hard habit for me to get into, to keep the bags with me when I go out in the store to use them, because it's like, oh, I need it now and I don't have it with me. So I'm trying to also incorporate that as a habit into my life as well. So, but these tote bags are going to be nice. So you'll be able to use it at the grocery store, the bookstore, of course. Carry your art supplies in it and go on different adventures, or on your nature walks, that type of thing. But using the tote instead of plastic, definitely a good way for us to try to also help the environment a little bit and do a little bit of our part to to prevent the extra use of those plastics that are out there. So hopefully it'll be a good one that you'll be able to have for a long, long time. What are some other ways for us to be able to maybe help with the environment? With any other suggestions? Does anybody else upcycle? Oh, I think I seen lost people.
I think it's just you can thrift instead of buying brand new. It's like the little things that you can do. Recycle when you can. Try to reuse bags when you can, or not use bags at all. Little things. It's what you can and reason. I mean, most of us are not the reason that we're having such a big pollution shortage. It's really big companies that are just dumping things on the daily. But you know, you can do your part and try to minimize your own footprint.
Exactly. But I mean, I mean, you're right. I mean, I think, well, obviously, most of us aren't necessarily leaving that kind of footprint in the world, and the corporations have done that, and the rich and the wealthy, greedy, not thinking about, you know, our environment and the things that they can do to make a difference. But we can at least try. We can't just give up, and so that's why we try to do our part as much as we can when it comes to anything. But certainly when it comes to art and being creative, it's another way for us to maybe find a way to help where we can. Especially because like, you know, paint, fabric, those things can stay for generations. And so it's nice to be able to have something that, you know, maybe could be a little more sustainable and that we could reuse. And so I'm glad that we were able to maybe try to find some ways that we can do that. Especially on the fun stuff too. We don't want to always be like, you know, having fun, but not necessarily being responsible with what our impact or our imprint. So I know that I wanted to stress that Ashley was unable to get the tote bag before our adventure tonight, and so she's working on a different project. But she will be getting her tote bag next week, and so I just wanted to make sure that that there isn't like you know, I'm not including her in the conversation. I just know she's not able to work on this at this time anyway. So, and then I hope the other ones that were out of, you know, that we're making the adjustment, were able to still join us on the YouTube video that will be posted, and then hopefully we'll be able to come back and visit us the next time around, so that we'll be able to have some fun when we're doing our wine bottles. Now, remember, I posted on the website under the workshops and under the drop down for instructions and schedules and that type of stuff. So you should be able to see the upcoming next, not only planned activities, but also a suggestion for planned supply lists. And all of these as well, I have for you to be able to say that I don't want anyone to feel like they can't afford to go get these materials. Money is a factor, even if you know, you don't want to. So I want to make sure that there's always a different choice to be able to use here. You can always find something alternative, something you, again, recycle, upcycle from your home. So we're going to be doing more stuff. The wine bottle was a collage. We're going to be working on jewelry, so we can, you know, beads, that type of stuff. But we can always do found things as well. And then the fairy garden, you can have, like, you know, we can do recycled items as well. So if you ever need to ask questions about what can I do instead of getting these materials, can I do some other alternatives, you can always message me, and I can always give you some other suggestions that maybe might be an alternative, that might be an upcycle, recycle type of thing. Or we're going to even try to do that with the fairy garden to see if we can come up with some ideas to maybe make that a little bit more, make it maybe an old shoebox. Or plastic jugs or something like that, that we can maybe build from instead of getting anything new. So just or whatever's around the house. I mean, we always have stuff around the house. So I just want to make sure that that I'm providing that for you, and also so that no one feels like they can't participate in any of these activities without it. So I hope that I'm going to go ahead and draw to a close because I'm really not sure on time right now. And I just figured I'll go ahead and stop at this moment. But I appreciate your time. I appreciate coming back in and sharing that with me. And apologize for the little bit of confusion in there. And hopefully next week we'll have a lot of fun with the bottles. And I just thank you guys for everything. You guys have a good week.
See you next
Thanks.
week. Thanks.
Bye. Thank you.
Thumbs up.
Thank you. Oh, you should do a picture. Do a little screenshot for the with your bag.
Okay.
All right, that's a good one.
Wait, Hannah's already gone.
Oh yeah, she.
Hannah's gone already. All right,
This is,
I'll try to get one later.
it's a shark.
Thank you again. You guys take care. I'll see you next week.
Okay.
Yeah.
Bye.
Bye.